Good morning. I'm Marcia Troop, and I'm a member at Shepherd's Heart. I work with Christian Ed and music around here. So last week we started a series called Living the Great Eight by David Jeremiah. And remember, he said, good is the enemy of great. We want to take what we think is good, move it to great. It's a good challenge for us to make that choice to make things better so that we aren't left with just good. We need to go be great. So we did discipleship last week, called Discipleship, Live Learning. This week it's going to be Love, Live Compassionately. Alfred Dubs was born in Prague and was one of 669 children, mostly Jewish, who were saved from the Nazis by an English stockbroker named Nicholas Winton. For his entire career, Lord Dubs has been active in English political life, but now he has a new campaign. Remembering those who had compassion on him, he has gained headlines recently by promoting the cause of compassion in politics. As our nation turns in on itself, he said, as the welfare state collapses after years of cuts, and as communities become ever more divided, we need an injection of compassion. The whole world needs an injection of compassion. This is one of the 8 great behaviors that makes us productive and profitable in the Lord's work. Compassion is having a tender and Christ-like heart for others. When we exercise compassion, we're reflecting the personality of God. For the Bible says, and these are excerpts from Psalm 103, the Lord crowns you with love and compassion. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. Matthew 9:36 says, but when Jesus saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion for them. When Christ met 2 blind men near Jericho, he said he had compassion and touched their eyes. That's from Matthew 20:34. When a leper dropped to his knees and begged for healing, Mark 1:41 tells us, Jesus, moved with compassion, stretched out his hand and touched him. When he saw a funeral procession with a grieving mother, Luke 7:13 tells us, he had compassion on her and said to her, do not weep. When 4,000 listeners grew faint from hunger, he said in Mark 8:2, I have compassion on the multitude, because they have now continued with me for 3 days and have nothing to eat. Compassion is a great attitude because it reflects the character of Jesus Christ, moves our heart to action, and touches the world around us in life-changing ways. Compassion also requires prayer and maturity. It's not simply a matter of being soft-hearted and indiscriminate to the face of need. Our world is so needy, we can easily become overwhelmed with it, trying to rescue every puppy, tutor every child, give to every panhandler, weep over every calamity, and donate to every charity. Compassion isn't simply a blanket burden for the world. It's being willing to respond tenderly and lovingly to specific needs God places in our pathway and puts upon our heart as we prayerfully follow him. He calls some couples to adopt a lonely child, others to volunteer in their local school, others to minister at the nearby nursing home, and still others to provide weekend backpacks filled with food for students facing food insecurities. Some sponsor children in other needy areas of the world, while others make weekly visits to serve at a local soup kitchen. Here's the question. How are you practicing the compassion of Jesus in specific ways in the world around you? No one is exempt. The Bible says in 1 Peter 3:8, finally, all of you be of one mind, having compassion for one another. Love as brothers. Be tender-hearted. Be courteous. One of the benefits of compassion is a boomerang effect. It comes back to bless us, and often the blessing received seems greater than the one we give. For example, try taking your children to a grocery store to shop for a poverty-stricken family. Fill the cart with canned goods, meat, milk, potatoes, fruit, and maybe a bouquet of flowers. Pack it all into a basket and let your children carry it up the sidewalk or into the apartment buildings as you ring the doorbell or knock on the door. The needy family will consume the food in a few days, but your children will remember the experiences for a lifetime. We aren't compassionate, of course, because of what it does for us. That's just a divine byproduct. But when we live compassionately, it reflects Jesus Christ and often opens the door for the gospel. Most of all, our compassion gives an injection of compassion to others in a way that lifts them up and that lifts up the name of him who said in Matthew 25:40, "Assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these, you did it to me." Now don't forget to rate. What is your level of compassion? Is it not good, pretty good, good, very good, great? And if you're in the lower levels, what are you going to do to move it to great? Again, if you didn't catch the rating sheet that was attached to the last week's meditation, we can print you one here if you ask for it, or you might be able to pick one up here. So don't forget, rate yourself each time. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.